Welcome to the Main Affair Studio podcast, a podcast where we detangle unpopular textured hair care topics, then send you back to the salon shook. Hosted by me, the incomparable Dominique English. Tune in as I share insider secrets, bust myths, and invite special guests from the cosmetology world to share their wisdom. Whether you're a natural hair newbie or a seasoned pro, get ready to embark on a journey to hair nirvana with Main Affair Studio. Welcome to the Main Affair podcast, where we talk about beauty, nostalgia. We're going to jump right into the conversation because this is a good one. I brought on my good friend. Sometimes I even take her in for myself, my own personal counselor. She is a licensed therapist. She specializes in heightened self-awareness. Her name is Alisha Woodall. Y'all give it up for Alisha.
Hey, I'm so excited to do this with you.
Yes, me
You don't
too.
even know. We've been talking about it for so long.
Seriously.
And now here we are.
I know. And we have these conversations all the time, but I'm like, you know what? We don't have to just keep them for the chair.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can just, meet up and talk about it.
I think that's dope.
Yeah.
And
So
it's necessary.
tell us a little bit about you. Who are you?
So I am Alisha Woodall,
Mhm.
licensed therapist here in Dallas, Texas, and I've been practicing for a very long time.
Uh-huh.
I work predominantly with women on heightened self-awareness, understanding self, loving self,
Mhm.
how to change behaviors that reflect the self-love that you have acquired,
Okay.
and just how to better understand yourself so that you can operate at your ideal level.
Mhm.
So it's really about understanding who I am so that I can function at my best and be my best version of myself.
Exactly. Do you
Yeah.
you do that for yourself too? Like, how did you get into that space?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, because it becomes part of how you see the world and how you see the way you should live.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a matter of questioning things and understanding myself. Like, why do I do that? Do I want to continue that? Is it serving me?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think just naturally I'm constantly in that headspace.
Okay.
So it becomes a way of how I live.
Okay, that's good. Like, when I hear you say self-love and self-awareness, like, I feel like for me it was always shunned on to be like that, right? It's like a selfish thing.
Selfish,
Mhm.
right? You're self-absorbed. And as the only child, I heard that a lot.
Okay.
I was called spoiled a lot. I
Mhm.
have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You call only children spoiled.
Okay.
But it really is that I just had a different world experience. I
Mhm.
grew up as an only child. The world did revolve around me as far as my parents were concerned. So
Mhm.
that was my reality. So I kind of always grew up with this idea of that it's okay to know what I want and that do what's best for me.
Mhm.
Not to the detriment of other people.
Right.
Not to harm or to be malicious, but it's okay. I grew up thinking about what's best for Alisha. How will this work for me?
Yes.
And so because of that, it became kind of a thought process of it's okay. And at some point I was challenged on that. So
And you made it to make it okay, and then also okay now to help others.
to other
get
people
that point.
see it. Because
Yeah.
a lot of the conflict that women find, and I say women because that's my clientele base,
Yeah.
is that they struggle with being okay with knowing that I may not want that. That's not what I want, but I'm still going to do what everybody else wants. Then you find yourself unhappy.
Mhm.
You find yourself depressed. You find yourself having made life choices that don't reflect what you really want. And now you're like, why am I so sad? I don't understand why I don't feel happy about my life. Well, a lot of your decisions haven't been for you or even about what was best for you. It was to serve others. And so again, it's about how can I find that balance, still being a productive part of my community, helping my family, but also making sure I'm taken care of too. I'm part of the equation. You know, like when people say I'm a people pleaser,
Okay.
aren't you people?
Okay.
Aren't you
okay.
people? So if you please people, include yourself.
Okay, that's
So-
good. Now you know what? Because I hear that often, and for me, when I would hear it, I'd be like, "Well, my favorite word to say is no." So I
You don't mind.
What?
You
Please?
don't mind.
I'd be like, "Well, let me know first, and then
Yeah.
I'll let you know." Right?
Exactly.
So is that also a form of like self-love? Like I said, it comes with the knowing what's best for you.
Right.
Yeah. So like with this topic today, we're going to dive into about like navigating hair discrimination, right? Which kind of does speak to making the best decision for you in your hair space and combining seeing how that affects people's mental health.
Right.
Because like I was telling you off camera, was like this thought came up because of like the Crown Act and how much discrimination had been going on in the workspace, and then I'm finding out in the school spaces and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So like when you think about hair, you're locked.
Yes.
Yes. How long you been locked?
Who did your life, girl?
You tell me. You know how long has it been?
Good, girl.
You know, I think I'm going on like 3 years now. I feel right. Yeah. So I think I made 3 years.
I'm like 4.
Is it 4?
I feel because I was at the old shop. I've been here for 2 years, going on 3 in September.
Okay. So I think it's 3, maybe going on 4.
Okay.
And it'd be like January, February. We've debated this before, where I've had to look up on my messages. Like I know I started. I don't keep up with it like most locksters do, but I'm working on 4 years. But what's interesting about the Crown Act, right, is that so for a long time when I would hear people talk about it, I would think that it was just Crown, i.e. head. But Crown as the acronym, right, which is creating, respectful and open world for natural hair, natural women, right? Yes. And I thought to myself, just that word itself, creating, means that it did not exist before. So that means that it was problematic. There wasn't a space for us to be open and respected regarding our hair. And the fact that you have to create that, you know? And so that was interesting to me when I learned more about the Crown Act, that it was like, you recognize that this has been a very hostile environment for natural hair and to wear your hair naturally. And you being a stylist, you know, this is a trend that has not been around for a long time. This is about a decade old.
Absolutely.
Prior to that, natural, you had that one natural friend. It wasn't all your friends were natural.
And you almost was like, how does she even get it like that? Like, what is that?
And that when you like, yours is really pretty.
Right.
That looks good on you. That natural looks good on you. Versus now it's everybody. Or at least the majority of my friend group is natural.
In so many diverse ways. Like I said, you have the locks. Some people run the curls, right? In those spaces, let's see, like societal beauty standards, right? When we think about those, what is the perspective for themselves and their mental health? Like when you think about societal beauty, right? How our hair, we know it to be beautiful.
Now.
Right, now.
We have not always appreciated it. And even now we still say good curls. There's still some verbiage there that shows that there is a spectrum of what's good for natural. Some people like, yo, you probably shouldn't do natural. You should probably do braids or, you know, cut it short because your kink is different. And so it's still a work in progress for us. But I think, you know, socially, from a societal perspective, they are very slow to catch up to where we are. As Black women, we're proud now. We are prouder and we defend our hair. But there was a time where we're having to defend ourselves and outside.
That's true.
You know, perception, perspective.
Yeah, because I remember, you said 10 years ago, I mean, we think back to when it was just like the afro. And even that represented something that was like more of a power, like, you know, I don't know, I guess during that time. And then we got into a space of my first time I went natural, the Chris Rock movie. I watched it and I saw him put that pen in the relaxer and it melted. I was like, okay, took my relaxer literally next door and gave it away. I was like, okay, I'm done. But I didn't necessarily connect to the beauty side of it until last year.
How so?
From myself, right? Yeah, because I decided I took the vow to not cut it no more. Okay. Because every time I would wear it out, I just always had to feel like I need to wear it short to just make it look like something. And I was like, I'm not gonna cut it no more. So I started going through the season of growing it out. And then I was growing it out and I was like, okay, I don't even know what to do with it. I'm teaching people how to do their hair, but I'm looking at mine and I'm like, I don't want it like this. I don't like it. I'm going through this stage where it's too short, too long, right? And it was really messing with me mentally. I didn't feel cute.
That part. That's the part. That's the part. And that's the hard part with natural hair. And a partial way of why I have locks now, because the anxiety of getting dressed and knowing that my outfit is bomb. This outfit is cute. But I don't know how this hair gonna do. I twisted it last night. I don't know if it's gonna play right or play fair in the morning.
It's gonna fight back.
Yeah, it's gonna fight me back. And so not knowing how to deal with our hair and then all the different products, which product will work for me, and that product didn't work. And it was anxiety driven. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of people with locks, because locks is just, it's natural, but I don't have to do as much to it.
That's true. It's always calm.
It's always done. You know, you have to focus on things like moisture. Hence dry hair. But it's less anxiety driven as far as trying to have a style. And so it does mess with your mental health, because I don't feel cute. And if I don't feel cute, I don't perform at my best because I'm self-conscious. I'm worried about, how's it, is it, you know? And because that is there, it's impacting my ability to do what I do well. Because I'm too focused here on how my hair looks.
So what would you encourage someone who has that issue? Because I even, kind of what you're saying, I remember walking out the house and feeling like I was naked at some points. I'd be like, damn, do I even have, because I'm, because
your hair went
your head, right? So like, what is something that you could give to people who have that societal issue but need to, still love themselves in it.
It's hard because you have to really focus in on just what I'm thinking. And the problem is, if I think it doesn't look cute, then that's even more so a problem, because now it's inside and outside forces. Outside is telling me it doesn't look cute, and I'm telling myself it doesn't look cute. So it's this gradual process. And it's, even with the locked journey, that's what the journey was for me, is how do I get used to seeing myself as beautiful and not meeting the standards of what society says is beautiful, but just knowing that I'm God's child. I am who I am. See, it's going internal and having to turn what they're saying off and retrain what you're saying to yourself. This is beauty because I am beauty. This is beautiful because I am beautiful. And the confidence of what I do and what I bring to this world, all of that is more than just my hair. But that is a long process.
I was about to say, it sounds like it's starting with self-talk.
It is self-talk. It's self-talk, and it's retraining the thought process. A lot of times we focus on the behavior, the action, and not the thoughts that fuel that behavior.
Okay.
So, for example, if the thought is that my hair is glorious, my hair is a crown, my hair is beautiful, my hair, connects me with the earth and with God and the sun, that's a whole different thought process that will then cause me to feel empowered, to feel strong, to feel confident in my beautiful locks. And my hair is a symbol of that, and my actions will reflect.
Okay, that's true.
Flip side of the coin. Other side of the coin is, if my hair is nappy, my hair is ugly, my hair is dry, I hate my hair, the feelings that come with that are down, less esteemed, right? Not confident. And the actions, I may withdraw, I'll retreat, I don't go out as much, I don't do as much, I'm kind of hidden in my house. So it's very clear that the thought is where you have to take the change. And until you change the way you think about it, you can't change the way you behave about it.
That's good. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
But all that to say that it's hard.
Right,
like
saying
it's saying I want to do it. You have to train yourself. Affirmations are a real thing. The reason that affirmations are helpful is because you're retraining your thought process around it. You keep saying this affirmative thing about myself and my hair.
Even if you don't believe it.
Even if you don't, initially you don't. Initially it's just wordplay to try to hear that something different, because we've heard for so long, nappy, kinky, ugly, dry, We've heard that. I know for me, like not having it I had a relaxer, very straight, clear cut. It was very together. There was no mistaking how it was supposed to be. With this, it's different. And so you had to train myself that doesn't always, that's not best. It's just the way it was.
And it's no longer that anyway. So let's go to where it can be. And that's kind of what you're saying about how we did get to this point, because it was we had to create that space. We had to change our thinking. So we can get here.
Prior to the societal norm being that you're nappy, kinky, ugly, black, there was our norm, prior to generations ago, was that it was just fine. This is how our hair looks. This is how it's supposed to look. That's how it's supposed to react. Until we were told differently, and that became the thought process.
That's good. So can you give us 3 ways to deal with hair traumas? Like, let's say it was such a traumatic situation that person dealt with, where I'm trying to think that I have, like, where it was like maybe as a child, they was mom was telling them to be still, or pulling their hair because they say that you think you tender-headed, but all of those things. What are 3 ways a person could cope with those types of traumas?
I don't know if I have exactly 3 ways, but I will say that the first step to anything trauma related, or that you've experienced a situation that still plagues you, is to acknowledge and discuss that situation. And how did it impact you? And so identifying that. So maybe acknowledge would be a step 1. That can be done in a variety of ways. It's just really sitting down and thinking through it. It's therapy. I'm always going for therapy. I'm a plug therapy because I think it's a great process to help you jog your thought process in a different way. It's one thing to sit by yourself and think about it. It's another to have a trained individual that can really guide you down that path of understanding that situation. So it's the acknowledgement piece. It's accepting that I've been impacted by something. That situation did something to me. Let me figure out what that is. And it's the exploration piece. Exploring it, figuring it out, and then what's my next steps. So I don't know if that's 3. They're vague in some ways, but essentially it's this 3-step process of what was the situation, acknowledging it, and then exploring it.
Okay. Acknowledging it and exploring it.
Acknowledging, accepting, and then exploring it. So acknowledge something happened, accept how it impacted me, and explore what that means for me and what needs to change.
Could the exploration, acknowledging, accepting it, and exploring. Thinking about the exploration part, sometimes when it starts to maybe, I don't want to say bleed on others, but that's when you maybe have to connect with the sources that it that you dealt with it?
Not necessarily with the sources, but exploration in the sense of how's it impacting my world.
Okay.
What does this look like for me, and what would I like to see different about it, right? Like if it's impacting my ability, for example, a loose example would be my self-esteem regarding my hair is preventing me from showing up at work and stepping out into new leadership positions because I don't want to be in front of the crowd.
Wow.
Then you have to explore that. What is that about? Why are you muting yourself? Why are you preventing yourself from expanding who you are and doing your best work, you know, out of self-esteem issues? What does that mean for me, and what I need to do to make it better? How can I get help to assist myself in this? The same way we assess anything else in our lives, right? If you wake up and you have a scratchy throat, you're like, do I need to go to the doctor or do I need to go to Walgreens? Make a decision. Oh, it's just a little scratchy, I'm gonna go to Walgreens.
Right.
That can alleviate it. Or it's hurting and it's bleeding, I need to talk to a doctor. That's a different sore throat. So it's the same thing when it comes to our mental health. You have to assess what is going on and who do I need to help me address it.
Wow. Okay.
Hairstylist, and like for you, I was gonna say, I remember leaving our very first consultation at your old shop.
Okay.
And what was impressive about working with you was that you said that you wanted to educate me on things no one had ever said before. It was just about getting the style. Whereas you were like, you know, porosity and all these different words I hadn't heard about my hair, and you were trying to teach me about my hair, so I understood it differently, which would allow me to engage with my hair differently.
But it seems as though because you first had to accept that, because I remember, to say, you know, I need some help, and then it almost, if I remember correctly, your first appointment we had cut it. It was curly. We had cut it. Then you started, like you said, we talked about what it was, and then it was just like, okay. Then you kept coming back. He was like, I think I'm ready to lock it. You know, and we went down that
the education, and it was a lot of it was in part to the education that you were providing about my hair and me knowing what I could and could not do. For example, I don't feel like getting up and twisting my hair every day and making sure that the curls is doing what they're supposed to do the way she did it. It ain't working like she did it when I get home. And so what do I need to do? I'm gonna have a job where I'm in front of people. I have to be present, and I have to be confident in what I'm doing in my presentation. So that struggle needed to be it needed to be lower on my list. I can't have my hair and my presentation prevent me from showing up.
Exactly. That's good. I love that, because I mean, we get told in the salons, you know, this form of therapy too, right?
Always has been.
Yeah. But having the knowledge of, I'm gonna say a little bit of both, right? Understanding somebody's mental space, helping them understand their mental space, as well as understanding their hair, because we're gonna send them right back out. So thank you for sharing that piece. That was good. I need to keep that in mind. So like, how can salons and therapists collaborate? Like, what's a way that you would see that getting more, since like I say, they call it therapy and sometime in the salon, but how could you get them stylists to understand a little bit more about therapy or helping them?
Because it's always been kind of somewhat of a shared world. Obviously, you're not a therapist, as a stylist, but you are in some way providing a safe space for people to share. When I'm in your chair, I just be talking. Like, I hope she ain't recording that stuff. But so you're creating safe space, and that is something that you share with therapists. Therapists create safe space for you to speak your truth and be your authentic self. And so I think as a stylist, recognizing when it's okay to mention to and making that a normative conversation that therapy is normal, and recognizing when your clients need another step. Like, this was soothing for them, but let me refer you to somebody I know that works well with women of color that, you know, I know can maybe understand what you're going through. And so using them as a resource and working in tandem, and likewise both ways, you know. I know you could use a stylist that really educates and helps you better understand your hair so that you can come to grips with this part, and it's working together, but from two different aspects.
Exactly. Yes. Stylists, we are not therapists. Do not be trying to diagnose people, trying to tell them what they have, what they, you know, that's not our lane. We're here to just help them in the space of, I guess, maturing in their understanding of their hair. Helping them understand their hair better, beauty, their self-confidence,
encouraging them to do other work outside of just your hair. I'm helping you with your hair, education of your hair, how to feel good about your hair, the routine you need with your hair. This individual may be able to help you with those other things that you want to discuss and explore.
That's good. So exploring, let's see, collaborative approaches, right? Between we just said that, right? Understanding emotional significance of hair between individuals and diverse backgrounds. So do you notice, like, I guess I don't want to say I had just learned about this appropriation, right? with our hair, collaborating with other backgrounds, other ethnicities.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever feel disconnected, I guess, from other curly girls, other types of curly communities, I should say?
What do you mean disconnected from them?
Like, okay, so recently I'm starting to find that, you know, I want to say Caucasians, different ethnicities.
The Caucasians. You know, we say that so softly.
It's like,
the whites.
you're the whites. Okay.
Yeah.
The other curly girls.
Straight hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. They're starting to pick up on some of our looks and some of our, you know, our hairstyles, and they're curly, so that's fine. But in this community, do you feel like I don't say feel? What is the connection between it that we can kind of like bridge the gap to? Is there any?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the gap between like differences in like hair textures.
Hair textures, hair types. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, what kind of connection do we need?
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know,
because
I think that very different struggle. I didn't know this. I thought this was interesting. That other hair textures have issues with their hair as well.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought that all Caucasians thought their hair was beautiful.
Yeah.
And they too struggle with their own insecurities around here. It's just not as, I think, socially made as public. Yeah.
I'm going to show you the which color I saw. This is where it came from. Okay. So Doja Cat, her latest battle with texturism. Now, Doja is, I think, biracial.
Okay.
So she posted this picture as her cover for one of her albums.
And that's her hair?
Yes, that's her hair. Now, the comment was that Doja released her latest cover for her new music, Blonde Kinky, and it went on Instagram Live and addressed the negative comments saying that her pattern was being bullied by perhaps even us and others.
Okay.
Based on the fact that she was biracial and her, you know, so I think that's what I'm trying to figure out is when it comes to the bullying, addressing others about our hair types, what's some ways that we can do this and not seem like we're just, I don't know.
Well, why are we bullying other people for hair texture, for different texture?
No, we're being bullied.
Oh, being bullied.
Being bullied.
Okay, for having different texture of hair. And who's bullying her?
So, online. Online, of course.
Black people? Us?
Blacks, whites, because of her, let's see, her stance on texturism, opening the conversation. Now, because Doja is biracial.
Yeah.
So, I guess I'm trying to figure out the fact that being bullied on our side, being bullied on their side, but we all have this commonality of texture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just being addressed on the bullying side, like online especially, right?
I guess that maybe that's fuel, or the foundation of that is, and like we said earlier, believing that certain textures are better, prettier, more acceptable than others.
Yeah. And
we feed into that.
Yeah.
Because I know, even knowing what I know, I still see a curl pattern, but those are pretty curls. Yeah. In comparison to mine, which are tight and kinky and I don't know, maybe close to the Doja.
Right. Like, girl, like, would you probably put something on it? If you really was to let your hair go, you may.
Yeah,
you know?
But it's the verbiage that we're using in general, you know, and we're still using certain words that lend to the bullying, that lend to that certain hair textures are better and nicer and a softer curl. Even the 4C, 3C, whatever. In that realm, it becomes somewhat. I'm part of the 4C community. I'm part of the whatever C community. It creates division versus just saying that we're all textured and we all have different textures, and those textures are going to vary and they're beautiful, but we still find ways to segregate and discriminate within. Yeah,
and that's part of even what the consultation and Main Affair is for, to get us out of that box of being just A, B, C's and 1, 2, 3s, because flat line, we can go 10 steps for everybody, and no one is gonna be the same. Like I'm like a fingerprint, any type of. It's a lot of individuality in our hair. Yeah.
And so maybe that starts with stylists and the way that you're communicating with us about our hair, because the division, I think, had to start there, where you're this, and so this is you, versus we're just textured. I think it's good from an educational standpoint, but when we use it as a gang or a team, then it becomes divisive, because that team is the cool, pretty team. This team is the hard struggle team. We got to fight with the comb, type of thing. So it goes back to thoughts. Our words. we change our language around our hair. We change the way we think about our hair, and then we change the way we feel about our hair and the way we treat our hair. And it's just this repetitive cycle, but it all goes back to how do you think about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, how do people find you, and what's the best way to get in touch with you if they have these issues, if they have these, even not just these issues,
but esteem and understanding self.
Yeah.
So obviously my website is Finding the Foundation, and then I'm on Instagram under the same name, wherever you go, Finding the Foundation, Facebook, Instagram, my website. It's pretty consistent. It's Finding the Foundation.
How do they know they need to go higher in this? Let's say, you need someone who is confident in these spaces. What is higher?
Heightened self. Heightened self-awareness is just knowing yourself deeper than the fact that I am Alisha Woodall, Black woman in Dallas, Texas. That's surface, right? Beyond that, I'm an only child. I have, I've experienced the loss of my mother. There's some more complexities, and even beyond that, how did the loss of my mother impact me? So it's exploration for anyone. I think most people need heightened self-awareness because most people are functioning from a very surface level awareness of self. And not how did these situations impact me to the woman or the person that I am now. And so anyone can benefit from that kind of exploration. It doesn't require you to be crisis or have some kind of psychosis going on or depression. That's not needed for heightened awareness. The only thing you need is a desire to want to function at your ideal self. And to do that, you have to know yourself intimately.
Is there something you can leave us with? What's anything that you need for community of texture hair, curly girls? What's something that you can leave us with?
If you find yourself in a place of feeling unhappy or dissatisfied, start with the thoughts, not with the actions. For example, with overweight, we shouldn't think of just the food itself. I'm gonna not eat this. I'm gonna stick to just eating vegetables and And versus what are the thoughts around food? How does food comfort me? How does food help me feel better? And so whatever you're doing, whatever space you're in, start with the thoughts.
That's good. Where can we put the thoughts? Do you journal?
I'm a huge advocate for journaling. I think journaling is key. I think it's best. But journaling is just a way to get it out. And the reason why I like journaling is because it's a non-judgmental safe space for just you. You don't have to worry about grammar, punctuation, spelling, any of that. Just get it out. What are you thinking? What are the thoughts that you're having inside? And then looking at that, those thoughts are causing me to feel this. So just word vomit. Get the thoughts out. Go back and look at it. That's the exploration. This is what my thoughts were. And these thoughts are likely linked directly to these feelings that I'm feeling. So if you just start with thoughts as a starting place, I think you can really do a lot of work there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too.
We did it. It's done.
It's good. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode.
Are you a stylist that's looking for a community? Let me introduce you to The Main Game, a digital community for professional stylists and clients who are like-minded in the cosmetology spaces. Our community includes self-paced online digital courses, all access to private tutorials, confidential conversations with experts, and early access to product launches. Stylists have a monthly opportunity for one-on-one coaching and clients virtual check-in. For only $19.99 a month, you can be a part of The Main Game. Join us by clicking the link in the description below. Also, don't forget to sign up for our email list and stay updated on new products and services that are available at Main Affair Studio. Now, back to the episode. Do you have an Instagram? If so, are you following us? If not, jump over to Instagram and follow us at Main Affair Studio. And while you're there, check out some of our latest reels and posts. It doesn't hurt to like and share with your girlfriends too. You never know. You may see your post in our stories. By the way, check out the link in the description below for contact information and visit www.mainaffairstudio.com for the latest exclusives. As we wrap up another exciting episode of Main Affair Podcast, I want to extend my gratitude to each and every one of you for joining me today. Remember, whether you're just starting your natural hair journey or you're a seasoned pro, there's always something new to learn and explore together. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes where we'll continue to unravel the mysteries of textured hair care. Until next time, this is Dominique English signing off, reminding you that there's no one way to be textured.
you.